cold in New Zealand, and the traffic coming into the city was just chaos this morning. But it's lovely to finally connect with you all.
It is fantastic to connect with you too. Thank you so much. We are very honored and pleased for you and Mr. Toloa to speak with us today. So we have a lot of students here who have a lot of great questions. So without further ado, I'm going to pass it over to them if you and the minister are ready.
Thank you, and I will pass you on to the minister.
All right, thank you, Paula. Nice seeing you.
Okay.
Good morning, everyone.
Good morning. Hello, Honorable Minister Toloa. I'm Olivia, and on behalf of all of us, I'd like to thank you for speaking with us today. We are currently making a video demonstrating how solar energy and any green energy helps the environment. And later we will be writing a paper using the information you provide us. We are so excited to speak with you and learn about Toloa's usage of solar power.
The reception is not, that kind, but the question you asked is, are you following the questions that you've been sending us? Can you repeat it, please?
I was just thanking you for talking to us, but we have multiple questions for you.
Yep.
Okay, me and Claire. Okay, what inspired you to completely convert to solar energy?
You may have Googled Toloa. Toloa is only 1 meter above sea level. I think the highest point in the island is the coconut tree, which is 60 feet. And our vulnerability is one of the biggest issues that we are facing in terms of climate change. We are affected left and right in terms of climate change. And one of the biggest issues that we believe that we can begin, telling the rest of the world, we are so isolated and very small, begin telling the world, because the whole cause of climate change is actually the greenhouse gas emission, around the world. So that was one of the reasons why we work so hard, try to mitigate, climate change by, completely going into, renewable energy.
Did money influence your decision at all, financially speaking?
Can you repeat the question, please?
Financially speaking, did money influence your decision at all?
I believe money was a huge issue for us, but we just close our eyes and bulldoze ahead. Because we know that we didn't have any money, but for a good cause of an example that we were trying to set the world, and inform the countries in the world, the bigger countries in the world, that they are the very cause of the people that are causing, the impact of climate change in this very small place. So we believe there may be some good Samaritan around the world that will assist us in terms of funding, financially. But we didn't have any money in the first place, and we knew that, money was going to be a problem. But that didn't deter us from actually going ahead with the project.
How did you manage to supply the money to make these solar panels?
You may have read some of the our status with New Zealand. We are territory of New Zealand, and under our financial rules and regulations, we are not allowed. The first option that we had, we were going to send a letter around the world if anybody would love to assist us with this renewable energy. But that didn't work. I went from New York to Copenhagen to to South Africa, in these global, the climate change negotiations and many places, and you have green fund and you have GEF funding. We were not eligible because of our status as a territory of New Zealand. So when we exhausted going around the world looking for funding, we asked New Zealand again if they could help. And they sort of say, oh, yes, but we cannot give you the money. So we changed our financial regulation so that we can actually loan from a bank. And I think we had to change our financial regulation 3 times in order that New Zealand allow us to actually loan. And then the first time we changed our financial regulation, we weren't able to loan. So we sort of borrow from them. We borrowed from our future core budget that they give us yearly. So we're still in the course of actually repaying New Zealand, for the money that we use for the renewable energy. I think it's almost finished. But, that was how we managed to finance the renewable energy.
What were your methods to develop the solar energy panels?
We asked UNDP, the United Nations Development Program. We are partners with United Nations Development Program. And we asked them in 2004 to actually explore the means and methods of actually, Toloa to actually acquire renewable energy, with the different means, whether it's going to be solar, whether it's going to be wind, whether it's going to be biofuel, or even tidal, energy. And when they did the study, you can have, the privilege of having that study. They concluded that solar energy is the best, option for Toloa. So not only they did the study, but they also did a trial, of solar energy. And we have plenty of sunshine. I don't know where in the States you have, but we have plenty of sunshine, and that was the reason, all year round. That was the reason why we opted, for renewable energy. But the second phase of the Toloa project actually is looking into biofuel. Although we electricity sustainable with the current renewable energy, but as a reserve, the option that was given to us is to go biofuel. That is coconut oil, as a standby, for the current, solar system or the solar energy.
Where did you decide to put the solar panels, and why did you decide to put them there?
It was a hard, we did, Toloa is a very small country. I think 4 square kilometers of land is not, 10 square kilometers of land is not a big country, but there is a combination of the 3 atolls. When we did the assessment for where we put the solar panels, it was quite hard because you don't have a lot of options. You have valleys and you have mountains in the States, and we are just a flat, table, just like the table there, only 2 meters above sea level. So where we put the solar panel didn't really matter, because wherever you put them, it's quite vulnerable, to not only the wind, when storm surge and cyclones and everything. But when we put it in, the 3 villages have to agree. We have a land issues there, but we put them almost in the middle of the island. Like on the lagoon side, you can stand on the lagoon side, grab a stone and throw it. That stone can reach the ocean side. So that's sometimes how narrow, those islands are. But we put them in areas that are not quite vulnerable. You know, on one of the atolls, we put it in the center of the island where there is a swamp. You know, and then it's not, that swamp, the area is not used, so we put it, and the design that was done was quite low, you know, about height, 6 feet, so that they ensure that the anchors or the foundation is actually cyclone proof. You know, so the design was built somewhere in New Zealand so that, you know, they can have this, you know, this structure built cyclone proof. You know, I don't know. We didn't test it. Not yet a cyclone 5 that will hit us, but time will tell if there are strong cyclone and if this panel will stand that strong wind. We'll see.
Did you, when you decided to use the solar panels, was your main concern residential purposes or commercial purposes?
I think it was actually both. You know, we were thinking ahead, you know, of our future. We were looking at a system that would produce 90% of the solar energy that each of the, you know, that Toloa was using. Now, but when we put the tender out, you know, we opened the tender to the rest of the world whether somebody could come up with a better system for what we had proposed. One company in New Zealand, the PowerSmart, that won the tender, they said with the money that we used, you know, with the money that was, they can come up with a system that can produce 150% of the solar that we need. So it covers not only the residential, you know, the private use of electricity, but also any venture in the future that may, you know, commercially use you know, electricity. But then again, you know, the billing could be a different thing altogether. Is this your questions, please, madam? Am I answering your question? Please redirect your question if I'm not answering, giving you the right answer, please.
You're doing fine. In our research, we found that you do have energy storing batteries that store the energy that you don't use. Have you ever had to actually implement those?
It was a total package. You know, when we did it, you know, it came with the batteries. It's the biggest off-grid system in the world. So from the sun, it goes to inverters. You know, I don't know what inverters are, but I know the inverters, you know, convert the sun, you know, heat into an energy, and then they transfer it into, you know, the batteries. So the battery stores the energy, and then it is distributed to the, you know, to the village. Now, it came as a whole package. So we have to monitor, you know, the batteries all the time, that they don't drop. The electricity doesn't actually drop too low, you know, because it's going to damage the battery. So it was quite an obvious task to actually get batteries in the first place, because they're very heavy pieces all the way from Germany. Now, one of the biggest concerns I have as a minister, it's the biggest load that was ever landed in Toloa. You know, like Toloa is a very small place. I was thinking about the island sinking because of the weight of these batteries.
What's your
So the
advice?
battery is part of the whole system.
What's your advice to other countries that are attempting to convert to alternative energy?
So my advice is don't think about it, just do it. You know, it's our vulnerability, even in a country like the United States. I think to save the world, which is the bigger message, to save the world in terms of climate change, you have to have clean energy. Maybe it's costly a little bit. It will cost a little bit, but the benefit that we can get out of clean energy is not damaging the rest of the world in terms of its air to the atmosphere, in terms of biodiversity loss, and many other things you know. So my advice to the rest of the world, I hope the bigger countries can listen, or even take our humble, renewable energy project as an example, and our sacrifices that we've done, it's not for us, it's for you and the future generation of America and Toloa. We think ahead because, say the frequency of cyclones that have hit, America, the last few years, and like we're having cyclones every year now, 2 or 3 or 4 during the cyclone season. And the vulnerability of the most important of you people and us is very important. We want our children in the future, to continue, for them to continue the legacy, our heritage, in terms of our culture, our language, and so on. So saving the world, this is the way to go, renewable energy.
How has the conversion over to alternative energy benefited your country?
Quite a lot. You may see that we save almost $1 million, in terms of revenue. The money that we use every year to buy, fossil fuel, there's quite a lot of benefit. We managed to use it for education, for health services, for community projects like seawall, for youth development, and that is a huge savings. $1 million is a huge savings. So it's it has given us opportunity to actually develop areas that we couldn't develop in the past. That is quite important, and especially, education.
Do you think your usage of alternative energy benefits the many types of wild plant species on your islands?
Sorry, can you repeat the question, please?
Yeah. Do you think your usage of alternative energy benefits the many types of wild plant species on your islands?
Certainly, yes. The answer is yes. Now, I think I alluded earlier that while solar energy, has been explored as the main source of energy for us, electricity, we are now self-sustained with, but we also have quite a huge resource in terms of coconut. Coconut has been our main export, in the 60s, and because of some world, market and all that, it crashed. There's quite a lot of coconuts in Toloa, and we were looking at using this resource as renewable energy. As you know, technologies has actually developed to the extent that you can run cars using coconut oil. So we are looking at coconut oil. There are generators, the standby generators we are using to use coconut oil as standby, for the standby generators. So when it doesn't, when there is a raining for, for an extended period of time, that, our batteries from the solar is low, we can actually use the biofuel or the coconut oil to boost it, to run, kickstart the generators so that they can actually, bring up the level of electricity that we need. So it's a combination of that. We are also looking at wind, the wind source. So that is in, the pipeline for the second phase of the Toloa renewable energy. So, hope when the demand is increasing, in the future, that we can tap on the, other, and the last part, whether it benefits the species, yes, of course. Like I said, we are a coral atoll. Have any of you been to a coral atoll?
No.
Have you been to offshore islands in Marshall Islands? Have you been to Marshall Islands or Tuvalu or Kiribati? Have one of you been on one of those atolls?
No.
No. You better all come to Toloa.
All right, we're on our way.
It's the last paradise on earth. And when you have a paradise, and when you bring in fossil fuel, the spillage, not only the spillage, but, the carbon dioxide side that, the exhaust that runs from the exhaust of the generator, it certainly spoils the species of the world, and even Toloa. So any spillage, we have to dump the oil that we were using. We have to, take them away from Toloa because it's a very porous, it has a very porous, it's just sand and rubble. So any spillage of any exhaust oil seeps right through the ground and will be in the ocean and will be in the lagoon in no minute. So it's one benefit of clean energy, renewable energy, so that you don't have, the damage that you can do to the environment. The ecosystem, won't be damaged. So there is a huge benefit, of the species, that are surrounding us, especially when I mentioned we have a coral ecosystem, situation that is completely different from volcano big countries like the United States. We have nowhere to dump our rubbish, so that has to be addressed because it does affect, biodiversity and all the species.
How did you develop biofuel made from the coconuts?
Excuse me. We have a traditional method actually drying them in the sun. You husk it, open it up. Have you people seen a coconut?
Yes.
Okay. It's the best drink that you can have. Better than your soda and then. So start today drinking coconut. But I believe there are none in the States. Anyway, when it's brown, you husk it and you open up and then take the meat out, take it to the sun. So for a few days when they dry, they throw them into a mill and then start milling it. And then the extract, of the oil goes through a filtering process. After filtering, then when it's finally used, I think they use processes that in the final filtering, so they can actually fan the fuel for the generators to be able to use it. So it's sun drying, milling it, extracting, and then finally filtering. And they have an appendage that they fit in a generator whereby it's different from the normal fuel that actually warms up the oil because it's much thicker than your normal diesel. It warms up and then it finally kicks in and heat it and then use it.
Is it something you would recommend to other nations around the world?
Absolutely. There are resources, and I believe the state is leading in terms of biofuel. I don't know what, a lot of, they recommending sugar, sugar cane, they recommending so many sources. But as for us in Tokelau, biofuel is an option. And maybe some countries does not have the advantage of having one biofuel or a combination of, solar, wind, biofuel would be the formula, for countries. But, to anything that has to do with cleaning the environment and not pumping out CO2 emissions, it's a benefit to the rest of the world, for everyone, even bigger countries like the United States.
If a new form of alternative energy is found with faster advancements, would you stay with solar energy or would you upgrade?
Sorry, Madam, can you repeat your question?
Yeah. If a new form of alternative energy is found with faster advancements, would you stay with solar energy or would you upgrade?
You let us when there is a more efficient, option for solar energy, but certainly, we're looking at also, even making things, any alternative that is, that will be cheaper, any alternative that will be durable, for Tokelau. While at the moment we're keeping, our main source is the solar, sunlight. It's ample, it's free, you don't have to buy it, it's a God-given gift. The biggest expense we have to have, that we have, will be the replacement cost that we have for the batteries and, the panels. If there will be a cyclone and the things will blown away, those are the costs that we, that we may be facing. But given that there will be an option of a better source of energy, renewable energy, certainly Tokelau will go for it.
Are there any more questions? Any follow-up questions? You come on up. Sure.
Is it okay? Great. So if things like break, like the solar panels, or are damaged, like you said, like in a storm, can you fix them? Do you have people to fix them on your island, or do you have to outsource and for the parts, etc.?
When we finally, the inauguration of it in 2004, we don't have the capacity to actually, fix solar panel, fix the inverters, fix the batteries. What happened, we had an agreement with the company that actually installed this system for them to actually take over the management aspect. In fact, right up to this day, they are still, the managers and look after any biggest problem. It's amazing that, I can sit here in New Zealand and I have a system that was given to me by PowerSmart, which is a company. And I can actually monitor the batteries in Tokelau. How the level of the energy that has been stored. And if the boys are not filling up the batteries or the water is too low or whatever, I can bring them up. Hey, guys, you're not doing your job. And that is what PowerSmart is doing right now. Now, capacity-wise, it's also very important, that we build our own capacity. So at the moment, last year, before last year, we have 16 trainees that are doing remote courses, through the University of Auckland. And they are being trained to actually take over this management, We cannot have a system like this still being controlled by outside people, without building up the capacity. So we're very, very happy that PowerSmart, which is the company that did this installation, they're working together with these trainees, our local managers. and they seem to be picking up that expertise in terms of managing the system on the 3 echo. So there will come a time we won't outsource this skills anymore, and we'll be able to actually be sustainable in carrying out any repair and maintenance work.
Come on.
Have you considered expanding with the alternative fuels from like the coconut oil? Have you thought of trying other alternative fuels, or are you strictly set on solar energy?
The the TREP, which is the Toloa Renewable Energy Project, for short. When we began designing the project in the beginning, we were looking at all the sources of renewable energy, and when biofuel and then solar was considered. Now, phase 1 has been completed, which is the solar energy, the panels, so it's running properly. The second phase will include biofuel. So it's a biofuel that we have actually looked at to make the project more sustainable. Biofuel, secondly, we are going to actually take away all the inefficient appliances, electrical appliances that has reached our stores, because they chew up a lot of energy of electricity, and replace them with a more efficient, electricity. I suppose this is an attempt to make sure that we keep the output level, very low in terms of usage, and we're doing local education of the people to switch off their light, during the night or during the day, and make sure that there is the least energy is wasted, because it's quite an expensive project. So we also look at the possibility of a current in the ocean. The new technology, I think you were more aware of this, the change of the temperature in the ocean and the current. We also look at those. But they are more sophisticated means of extracting that, that. So while your question is specific on actually biofuel, but we are open to any suggestion of any renewable source that we can tap in, and I suppose the money part will be the most important aspect.
Thank you.
Thank you for meeting with us. We're very grateful, and everything that you've said is very useful to our future assignments. We are glad that you were able to meet with us, and do you have any questions for us?
Yeah, not really a question, but I encourage you to all take a field trip to Toloa. Yeah, I know it's while trying to promote this project, it's very, very hard for the rest of the world to see. And that is why I am grateful that a small group of people are interested in a project that we have done, that we believe it will benefit the rest of the world if actually that they will recognize and they will actually assist in promoting renewable energy. So I am very, very happy for you people recognizing the Toloa renewable energy. We need some more people that know this project. We need people that are open-minded, and especially in this time, during this time, it's when you may know of the climate change negotiations that have been going on for 30 years. And they haven't agreed on their carbon emission that country has pledged, the Kyoto Protocol. Country has pledged, that they're going to cut down their carbon emission, and it's continuing to actually damage our surrounding house. The message we're trying to say, tell the world, our very humble success in terms of renewable energy. I hope the world can listen, because there are more resources in terms of funding in the Global Environment Facility, in the green funding, and many of the countries in the world, the big companies, they can all go renewable energy. So our humble example, I will ask you to be ambassadors of this project, and I will ask you to come, come and visit Toloa. Like I said before, it's the last paradise on earth. It has green energy, and when you come, you can even, take it wherever you go. So talk to your friends, talk to your parents, talk to anyone that your colleagues, about this, about the Toloa, project. So I thank you very much with your teacher. Maybe if sometimes I come around your place, in the States, I visit the States a few times. I just returned from New York, exploding my lungs, telling the world about talking about renewable energy. But it seems not a lot of people are taking notice. So I very, very much thank you, and I will spend anytime you want, to actually know how this project is going. I'll have all the time for you on earth. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much for everything that you said to our students. Your and Tokelau's vision is truly remarkable, and we are, like I said earlier, we are honored that you gave us your time today. And I think you have 60 converts in this room right now for renewable energy, for solar energy, for coconut energy. We are all on board. It's us in Tokelau. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you to the rest of the children, of the students. I hope your project will be succeeded. And if you need more information, Paula will assist sending those information. I've done a few presentations all over the world, and those presentations really what we have been talking about. Paula can assist you with that.
Fantastic. Thank you so much. We'll see you.
Okay.
Yeah, that's fine.
Bye.
Thank you.